So here we go. I am literally packing my pack for that trip tomorrow. So here's what I do. The first thing I put in my pack is my sleeping bag. And I take that and I stuff it down into the pack, down into the bottom of the pack. I get it way, way down there. I really stuff it down. And what that does is that gets something nice and light in the bottom, but it also takes up some volume. So it begins to create the shape of my pack. Then what I do is I grab some of my clothing. Here's an extra pair of socks. I'm going to find a little nook and cranny down there and stuff it in. I'm actually going to get it past my sleeping bag, not on top of my sleeping bag. Here are my nighttime, early morning light gloves. I won't need those until I unpack, so they can go way down here. I've got my nighttime shirt, sleeping shirt, which in my case is a little wool long sleeve t-shirt. So that will go down here and again get stuffed in down lower than the sleeping bag. And now that pretty much is the bottom of my bag. What I do next is I find my sleeping pad, here it is, and I roll it in such a way that I can put it in here. See if I can explain this. I put it in here so that it lays horizontally in the bottom, and I again scrunch that way down. So what that does now is that goes up against the sides of my packs, and because of friction it kind of stays there, so it helps me keep everything down the bottom of the pack. That's something that I've been doing for years and it works out really well for me. So let me break in for a second here and tell you what I'm wearing obviously is also important. So what I'll be hitting the trail with will be one pair of socks. As you saw, I packed a second pair in here. I'll be wearing the only pair of pants that I will be having the whole trip, the only shirt I'll have in the whole trip, the only pair of underwear I'll have in the whole trip, my baseball cap, my trail runners, and a scarf or a shamag. So that will be my clothing. That's why you didn't see me put it into here. That's what I'm actually wearing at the time. Okay, next. In this particular pack that I have in my ULA circuit, I have a little pouch up front. So what I do is I take all my permits. This happens to be my hiking permit, my campfire permit, and I take my wallet, which I go into some detail again on in the gear video that I did. You can go check out. And I put those in my little pouch, which is right at the front and top of my pack, so I can get right to those. If a ranger stops me or if I need to pull out some cash or whatever, it's right there in a very handy spot. Okay, next. This is our tent. This is the tent and the fly. That's going to go down on top of the pad. Like I said, I scrunch my pad way down in there. Next, I've got my tech kit. This kit is my batteries, my charging cords, my wall adapters for charging up in town. Anything technical goes in here, with the exception of my camera gear, because that's going to go on an outside pocket, which I'll get into in a second. But I put that in here on the side. Find a little space there. There it goes. And then I've got my hanging bag for hanging food at night. Again, I go into detail on this in the other video. That goes down on the side. And then finally, my food. I put that on top so I have it readily available. And that, for me, that is it. I'm double checking. Yeah, that is it for the interior of my pack. So I'm going to close my pack down. In my case, I've got a roll top pack. So I roll it down, and I'm going to clip it off right here on that side, clip it off over here on this side, take this strap, clip it down, tighten it up, and there you go. There's the main body of my pack. Now I'm going to add some things to that. I have an outside pouch that I use for things that I want to or need to get to right away. I want to have them available. So what goes in that pouch? I usually start with my first aid kit, and I put it all the way down here in the bottom. I put it like I have it in a bright yellow container so that I can see it and somebody else can even see it. If I'm incapacitated, if I'm hurt, somebody can see my first aid kit sitting right there. So right there where you can see it. On top of that, I take my rain jacket and I roll it up, kind of roll it up into its own hood, and that goes down here so I can grab that right away. Now I've got some space here on the left and the right. So what I do there is I take my water purification kit, and that goes down one side. I'll take my toiletries, my camp scoop, my wet ones or toilet paper, and hand sanitizer. That's for obvious reasons, which I go into again on the other video. That goes down this side. So as you can see, all the things that I might need right away are right here. And then finally, for camp shoes, I tend to use flip-flops. So I'll put those right here because as soon as I get to camp, I want to get a hold of them. And then also, since we're going to be hiking in the desert in some pretty brutal heat on this trip with not a lot of shade, a lot of exposure, I'm taking these sun gloves that OR makes, and I'm putting those right on top so I can grab those. Now, I'll take that, I cinch that down, and that's all packed. So we're almost done here. I now have on my pack, like most packs, I have a hip belt that has pockets on it. So what I always do is I take my compass, goes on the left side, my chapstick goes on the left side, and then I put my camera gear, my tripod, my stick pick, and a few other things, and I'll put those right here so I have them right away if I need to shoot video. I happen to be using those right now to make this video, so I'm not going to put them in. So that, excuse me, that's what would go here. On the other side, I'm going to grab, this is a bag of the custom gorp that we make, along with a candy bar. So this is kind of my snack that I can just get right into as I'm walking if I want to. And that always goes on my right-hand side. Okay, literally almost done now. As you'll see on the front of my pack here, I have a little extra pack that I bought from Z-Packs, and in here I'll put my cell phone typically, and that's about it. At times when I need to charge my cell phone, I'll get one of the batteries out of my tech kit that I showed you, along with a little USB patch cord, and I will put the battery in here and patch it into with the cord into my cell phone to charge it up while I'm walking. But otherwise, all I have in here is my cell phone. Okay, almost done. On the ULA, you have these outside pockets, and all packs you have some kind of a pocket where you can do this, but we have to have water. So I'm going to take, for now, we're taking 4 liters of water. So I'm going to put 2 on that side, and I'm going to put 2 on this side. And that is it. I am completely packed and ready to go for the trip. Okay, we are on the PCT again. This time what we're doing is we're finishing up our Section A hike. So after this hike is over, we're this hike is going from Warner Springs down into Scissors Crossing and then hitchhiking up into Julian. So with this hike, we will have completed the entire Section A of the PCT. So that's pretty cool. It is actually it's Thanksgiving Day today. So we're celebrating Thanksgiving on the trail. We had our meal, our family meal with our kids last night. That was great. We parked the car about 3 miles in that direction in Warner Springs. We're about 3 miles in. We're at about mile 107.2, somewhere in there, about 3,300 feet above sea level, somewhere in there. And I think we have about another mile to go until we get to a rock formation that's pretty famous on the trail called Eagle Rock, so I'll make a video from there. Okay, well, check this out. We're at mile 106.2 right now. So looking down in that direction down there is where we started. About 4 miles in that direction, in that area right there, down into down there in Warner Springs. We're now at mile 106.2, like I said. Beautiful mountain pasture views, but check this out. This is one of the most famous landmarks on the entire PCT. Look at that. It's so cool. It's called Eagle Rock. I'm not sure why, but yeah, pretty cool rock formation. And there's Kathy over there, getting ready. 4.3 on the PCT at about 3,300 feet above sea level, and I haven't seen anything quite like this for a while. This is, I guess you'd call this a mountain meadow, a high mountain meadow. I know it's used for pasture land, so maybe it's called a mountain pasture. But anyway, that is gorgeous. We are at mile 100 of the Pacific Crest Trail. A significant spot for through hikers, mainly, because as you're passing this spot right here, if you're coming northbound from Mexico going to Canada, you are 100 miles into your trip, and you still have 2,550 miles to go. If you're coming southbound from Canada, you have 100 miles to go to the Mexican border. So this is a pretty cool spot to go. Okay, let me give you an idea of what we've done so far. We are right now at the highest point on this hike. We're at 4,400 feet. We just did about 1,000-foot climb, which, if you're not a hiker, that just imagine doing, getting on a treadmill for 3.5 hours with a 28-pound pack on your back. That'll give you an idea of what we've just gone through. It's been very pleasurable, but it's not easy. So yesterday, 13 miles ago, we were way over there on the other side of that golden pasture area in Warner Springs. We walked all the way through that pasture and up to a camping spot last night called Barrel Springs. And this morning, we got up real early to try to beat the sun. We didn't quite make it. But anyway, you can see a lot of trail. We came up, if you can see that stripe on the mountain over there, that stripe right there. We came up there and then into that gully, and then around here, there's trail. You can see trail up here. And of course, there's a lot you can't see. That'll give you an idea. So here we are, we're gonna take a break. Just taking a break, having fun. Mile 94, and we just got our first glance of our final destination. I'll try to point it out to you. If you look real hard, there's a place right about there where there's a road heading in that direction and a road heading in that direction, and where they cross, that's called Scissors Crossing. That's about 18 miles away from where we're standing right now. We are going to try to make it there a day early. So we're going to try to make it there tomorrow night instead of Sunday afternoon. The road that goes in that direction is the road that will take us up to Julian, where we're going to be picked up by our daughter. Anyways, end of day 2. It's about 7 o'clock at night. And obviously we're night hiking. You can see the headlamps. We crushed a 15-mile day today,
I think.
And we're setting up camp pretty much right on the trail because we cannot find a camping spot. And this is the best thing we could find. So here we are. You do what you have to do. Okay, so it's about 4 o'clock in the morning. Just starting out our 3rd day of hiking. Our reason for, we got up at 3 o'clock and got out of camp. We're hitting the trail early. Our strategy is, our strategy is kind of twofold. We want to get a lot of mileage in before the sun comes up. Well, I mean, we are heading down towards the desert. And so we want to get some miles burned. And then also, we are going to put in another long day today with the idea of getting up into Julian, hopefully by lunchtime. So, if everything goes according to plan, we will get down into Scissors Crossing at around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then hitchhike up into Julian and have lunch up there. So that's the plan. Good morning, and the stars are still out right now. It's beautiful. Saw a little bit of the Milky Way last night, and I was able to identify a couple of constellations. It was pretty neat. Got a really good night's sleep, and I'm approaching a cattle gate right now, so I'm going to turn off the video. Well, this video is probably not doing this scene justice, but wow, it's about 5:42 in the morning. We are at what mile are we at? 87.4. We're at mile 87.4 at an elevation of about 34.52. It is Saturday morning, working our way down to Scissors Crossing, which is on the floor of Anzo Borrego Desert. But anyway, here's the sun coming up, so I'm looking directly east. The sky is just starting to turn blue, but we still got some pink left. This is just amazing. Let me go the other way too. Gorgeous, and the sun's almost up, so we can take our headlamps off here pretty soon. At mile 86.4, at about 6:15 in the morning, an elevation of about 3,200 feet, we have definitely come down out of the mountains and are entering a more like an upper desert area now. Say something.
I love you. You're cute.
Now say something about the trail.
It's beautiful. Even the desert parts are gorgeous. I love this trip.
Peanut butter and jelly tortilla for breakfast at 6:30 in the morning on the trail. I give it 2 thumbs up, but I've got a tortilla in one hand and a phone in the other, so just have to imagine me putting 2 thumbs up. Okay.
I know, right?
Made it to our destination, Julian, and stopped at our favorite place for food, Carmen's. Got some mac and cheese and some ice cold beer, and we're just relaxing, waiting for our ride to come pick us up. Good hike. Julian, and pick us up. Sure beats walking all the way back to Warm Springs. Hi, Joy.
Joel, look at her.
Hi, Joel. Hi, Joel. Hi, Joel.